What if we came up and you were just holding on to my long pinky?
No, it was this. It was like this.
Ariana holding on to Cynthia's long.
I love a delicate moment like that. A delicate handhold, but just a finger hold really does it for me. Like that was ASMR to behold.
They've trauma bonded together.
They've been through hell and back. This is the female version of Saving Private Ryan, what they've experienced in these press junkets.
I've never seen a press junket this. It's more extra than Gaga doing any press junket. It's like fully something's happening. Something shifted.
But this is what actresses. This is the life of an actress.
I love it. By the way.
Oh, same. I'm saying this from a place of admiration, love. This is. For an actress, a woman in entertainment, specifically in front of the camera, movie star, famous, your day-to-day life is akin to being a World War II soldier.
Yes.
On the beaches of Normandy every day. You wake up and your entire waking life is war is hell. And that's called being a extremely famous actress.
They're being like spiritually lit up by a machine gun every moment of every day.
And that's why I love. Oh, Tony just saw himself on TV.
Oh,
see, he actress vibes. This is the exact. When you see them on TV or when actresses talk to each other, that's why I love it so much, because
like
they are now
roundtable.
Yeah, so they are speaking a language and know things that only maybe 200 people in this entire world know and are privy to.
Well,
actresses are the most affected of all, and this was very that. And I want more of this.
So this was during their press junket this week. A journalist from Out magazine who literally looks like Mary from Sister Wives just like glowed up. Okay. This is just to me, this is the most bewitching, beguiling, and just overall confusing thing I've ever seen, and I'm obsessed. I say that hyperbolically.
Are taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with that and feeling power in that.
I didn't know that was happening.
I've seen it, yeah.
That's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was happening.
I've seen it on a couple posts. I don't know how widespread, but I am in queer media, so that's my,
It's really cool.
I'm just obsessed with her in this like Tom Brown kind of look.
This hat is also beguiling. The hat is a wild combo.
Ariana in this moment is nonverbal. She's only able to communicate by a delicate stroke of her giant index pinky.
It's just this. It's just reaching for.
And that's sisterhood.
There's so much subtext going on. I've never seen more subtext going on in a video. Like, what? At every turn of this video, I'm like, what's happening? What is seeing people holding space for a song in a movie?
My guess is that people are doing like reels and TikToks where they're like lip syncing.
And that's a holding space?
I don't know what the fuck this person is talking about, but apparently Cynthia knows exactly what
I know, but
Tracy
that's the thing is like whatever she's talking about, like to me, when you even just watch a movie or television show, you're holding space. But this seems to be something different.
My guess is...
But then Cynthia...
She knows.
She knows exactly what she's talking about. But then she's like, it's like this miracle has occurred. And she's asking like, are you serious? Like, you're seriously telling me that my dream of the space holding has happened? And the woman's like, well, maybe on a couple occasions. Yeah, absolutely. And then she's like, that whatever it was exactly what Cynthia wanted to happen. Even if just 2 posts have shown whatever the hold space is, Cynthia is pleased, and Ariana knows what Cynthia has wanted, and they've somehow communicated this was Cynthia's goal and dream, and Ariana reaches and just delicately holds the index finger and everyone is in awe.
But I think there's a turn where you see the journalists almost have like, you see panic almost like.
Because she realizes that maybe Cynthia is not knowing what she's talking about.
To me, this was very like, this is where all roads of like kind of therapeutic.
Gay.
Well, no, just therapeutic social media speak and like,
But specifically
overly therapizing like queerness and whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is where
therapized queer voices lead to a place of index hold.
Well, but it's like taking, holding space and I'm at capacity and it's like overly therapized the TikTokification of queerness. But this is where it's led to, where it's basically the Tower of Babel and like no one is saying anything.
But it really means it.
No, but I think
it carries a lot of meaning.
But I think Mary from Sister Wives on Out Magazine in this moment kind of like not bullshitting. I think she's genuine and is genuine and wanted to like say something kind. So I'm not like, it's not her fault, but I think maybe there was like, it's like kind of, it's a little bit of bullshit.
A little bit.
No. It's extreme. This woman is like saying a bunch of bullshit to this really famous person who's like the star of the biggest movie of the year. Kind of just like a throwaway, like people are holding, like all the buzzwords are there, holding space, finding power, like stepping into power. And I think she's kind of expecting Cynthia to be like, that's so great. Like I'm just proud to be part of like this thing that queer people, especially women, can like really identify with, and like I feel just on like that's like what you're kind of expecting her to say. But Cynthia is in a place of fingernail holding and she is fully not going to just pass this up, and she's going to press this woman. And then I think you see this woman be like, oh, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I didn't actually see people holding space. She's caught me in a lie. But she doesn't know she's caught me in a lie. But I have now it's like a giant thing. I think you see the panic and I'm obsessed.
I would like to posit that maybe Cynthia is like 12 chess moves ahead of this woman and is going to a place of troll. I mean, I know that's not happening, but I would love if it's like someone said like, oh, I see people are really holding space for this. You go, oh my God, are you serious?
And then Ariana kind of being in on it.
Like they're like, now this interview, we're gonna just like react in this very serious way is actually a great way to counter this like
nothingness.
Babble. Mm-hmm.
But
I love this.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. And
we'll just have to wonder. We'll never gorgeous
really know.
Thing about it is that we'll never know, and that that it will continue to perplex for ages. This video is going extremely viral right now, and I think it's really struck a chord with everyone, where everyone is like, what is happening? Like this video will unite our country. It will.
Of everyone being like, not even like making fun of it, just being like, what is going on? Like I literally am like,
it's an eternal question.
I will never, till the day I die, I'm not sure I will ever know what Miss Cynthia and Miss Ariana were actually like channeling in this moment.
And I don't know if I really I don't want the answer. I don't want that. I don't ever want to know. I hope they never explain.
I might have held space.
I think you have.
I've held space.
When you watch something, are you not holding space for it? Unless you're on your phone.
I might be holding space every day of my life. But I
would argue you are.
But I also think I just love this. This is just like, to me, peak. And I love her going, well, I'm with queer media. I love the journalist then going, well, I'm with queer media. So and I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I think that
I'm with queer
queers
media.
Are holding a lot more space, or
for Wicked?
They're yeah,
I think Wicked is.
I think in general,
I saw it last night.
Queers are more conscious of space holding in general.
Queers, yes,
yeah.
I think we are a people of holding space, but I also think Wicked. I saw Wicked last night.
Did you hold space?
I certainly held space because it was almost 3 hours long. I got home almost at midnight. I was like, it was a whole night. It's when you go see it, just be sure you're blocking out.
I don't know if I think I'm at capacity and don't have.
That's okay.
I don't think I can hold space.
You need to honor your boundaries right now. My boundaries were open last night and I let it in and it was great. I will say, okay, my very quick review is Ariana Grande was fucking incredible in this movie.
She's a star.
She is such a star and like old Hollywood kind of like Karen Black, almost like, wow, and like that's obviously the character, but she just holds the screen and she steals the movie. Cynthia, great voice.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible voice. One of the best voices I've ever heard. Doesn't have, to me, had the same stage presence as Ariana in this movie. I think I've loved Cynthia in like The Outsider, Color Purple. Like she's star of stage and screen. But for some reason, Ariana just like outshone her.
Mm-hmm.
But could have done with like less, could have been like half hour shorter, I think. But great. And the one thing I want to say is everyone in Oz is a faggot. Everyone
Oz
is gay.
is at its heart gay wonderland. Like the Wizard of Oz by nature has always been one of the gayest things to ever exist.
I had many chills.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you saw it, you would have many chills. Especially the last Defying Gravity where you were holding space at the very end. You will have chills because you will be holding space.
Okay.
But I think Ariana is well deserving of like a lot of the acclaim she's getting, and I hope she gets rewarded in some way for this role because she cracked me the fuck up.
She's literally living the life she was born to live,
and she's so like she's a comedian. She's a comedian.
Yeah,
she's a full natural comedian.
I mean, it's that Disney.
Yeah.
Also, the Disney of it all. And like from childhood being like trained in that way, she's just she's a true blue talent.
I literally was like laughing. I was like, ha 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 ha, ha, like fully.
Lolled.
She made me loll so many times when she sings "Popular," her famous, "Popular."
I don't know it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know any. I didn't even remember. I thought they were sisters.
Well,
I don't know anything about
spiritual
Wicked.
Sisters.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. Maybe that's the space they're talking about.
I think that could be part of the space.
Anyway, speaking of lesbian, Ellen DeGeneres has apparently been spotted with brunette hair in the UK after leaving America following the election. So we know Ellen has fled, like Richard Gere. He left too.
I thought he's been gone.
I think he's like officially gone to Spain.
Sexy.
But Ellen and Portia picked up right after Trump won. They said, we're out of here. And they picked up and went to the UK. And now she's sporting a brunette.
She had to get serious.
She's underground. She's in disguise.
Yeah.
She's a full-on MI6 asset.
She is.
Right?
And I respect that.
Yeah.
Good for her.
She read the tea leaves and was like, shit's going down in this country. We need to go. And she took Portia. And they flew in a broomstick across the pond and landed in Cotswolds.
Good on her.
And now she's in like wellies.
Great.
Can you imagine her burning leaves in like a giant estate?
Yeah, that's what I would be doing too.
With like a little...
a cap.
Yeah.
I'd be going hunting. I'd go full
Balmoral.
English gardener. Yeah. I'd be like...
Scottish.
I'd go full... Like I yearn for a day where I could become like a master gardener.
With Ellen?
No.
Why do you think she has brunette hair?
Why not? What's she gonna do? Be a blonde ingenue forever? Sometimes you just want to go. Sometimes you get the call as a woman to go brunette.
My friend said she's immediately become Twiggy.
She's been blonde for a long time. Maybe she wants to mix it up.
She's very Miley Cyrus eyes meme.
Mm-hmm.
I also wonder if she'll be like embraced more in the UK for like I can see her becoming like
she's cheeky.
She's a
bit cheeky, no?
I can see her becoming like a crass comedian, broad comedian.
She has the dryness.
Graham Norton.
Yeah.
Lean into it over there. Become a cranky lesbian comic. I would love it.
I love how like fast that happened.
What, that she left?
Yeah. I'm sure it was a slower process than that. I'm sure she was planning on moving to the UK and then it just so happens that it's like the timing lined up.
I think she wanted to probably escape the Hollywood.
She's had enough of America. She's given it everything, and what has she gotten in return?
And she probably
called
true.
a bitch.
She got a lot of money.
She got a lot of money, but then she just got fired, called a wretched cunt. Yeah, like the boogeyman of Hollywood, and told to like leave.
It's like Lance Bass.
I know. She's just like had it fucking rough, kind of.
At least she practiced what she. Remember when everyone in like 2016 was like, "I'm leaving," and then no one left.
No, yeah.
She's like, "Hey, I'm going," and I don't blame her.
It.
I don't fucking blame her.
I respect.
She got the fuck out. I think. Also, when you're that rich, you probably get like...
You just get to leave whenever you want.
You get to leave, and she probably got like a little bit of a heads up.
Yeah.
She's going underground.
That's why I think it's like been in the works for a minute.
They were like, hey, this shit's going down. You got to get out. And she's like, all right.
Also, probably a good idea to leave Montecito or any like coastal West Coast region.
And go move to an island.
But I think England is probably less of like a natural disaster risk than the West Coast of the United States.
Unless the jet stream goes away and then they'll become a frozen tundra.
Well, is it better to freeze or
drown?
Die in an earthquake? Would you rather be a little chilly, put on some extra layers, or be like somewhat crushed by
I'd rather be
rubble?
crushed because at least that will be quick. A slow freezing death would be hard.
I mean, I think it would take like years and years and years and years and years. So I'd vote like just chilliness.
Well,
I'd go cozy mode, fires, soups, some extra layers, a really good winter coat, boots, scarves.
That's literally their life.
Yeah, I am jealous.
I would love to know that whatever manor they move into is haunted. And
sure
Portia solves a mystery. I want Portia to solve a mystery.
They can go horseback riding. They continue to have the best life of anyone in the world, probably.
Isn't it always random that Portia's Australian?
She is?
Yes.
Like
Google.
an accent?
Can you Google for confirmation? Yeah, she's Australian. I mean, I think her accent has waned. She's an Aussie. She's a Sheila. She's an Australian American actress. You know who else is technically an Australian American? Nicole Kidman, because she was born in Hawaii.
Love that.
We always forget.
Well, congratulations to Portia and Ellen on their big move. I wish them well.
Britain's great. They probably are going to be like neighbors with James Corden.
Yeah.
Because he moved back.
Yeah. Great.
Well.
What about Kim K's Tesla robot?
Oh my God.
That has given you feelings, no?
I held space for that.
Mm-hmm.
She did a sexy shoot with a new cyber car and a Tesla robot where it looked like she was popping a squat and taking a shite.
I know.
Look at this.
I saw this.
I hated this. I thought this was...
I don't like this either. I kind of like the car.
Look at that guy. Why is she like being sexual with it?
Didn't she sit on its lap?
Maybe.
Oh, I don't like the wheels of the car.
That looks like she's literally...
Pissing outside.
Maybe this is who she should marry. Remember we were like, Kim should marry a building?
Yeah.
I think she should actually just marry a robot.
I think so too.
That's like the next best step for her, I think. At first I was like, is this even Kim? Did she get a new face?
Her face is looking a bit different.
Right? What's going on?
I think she goes underground, does some tweaks, comes back with like a new hairstyle and like some new nips and tucks.
She's looking a little Bianca in this moment.
I know. The whole thing is, I'm just like, I'm in a place of like, I would love the Kardashians to just like be quiet for a while.
For a decade.
I think I've had about enough. I'm at capacity. I no longer can really hold space.
I was at capacity like a year ago, remember?
Yeah, like I didn't watch the new season.
I'm over. They're done. My best friend sent me a photo of Chloe yesterday where I was like, I just looked at it and I was like, who is this person? I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like,
what are they?
You guys have won. Like, you did it all. You're extremely wealthy and you've done everything there is to do. So now the only thing that's left to do that you haven't done is shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, is just go away.
The only thing left to do is like wear pantyhose and like
they've done that.
Take a shite in front of.
They've done that. This is kind of old hat stuff. Like we've seen your like paparazzi-esque like photos outside of cars with the flash on. Like literally the last frontier is shutting the fuck up and going away.
Do you think she's gonna like, I feel like this could actually be her greatest companion yet. I
just always think rapist when I see a robot.
This
a male robot. Where's the female robots?
True.
I'm holding
space for that.
I hold space for a female helper robot.
Rosie, you want a Rosie?
I do. I've always wanted that. Like that's the kind of companion. Or if you told me that robot's gay, then I'd be like, prove it, and then I would accept if I felt like the proof was truly in the pudding.
This robot is not gay.
No, that's a straight robot.
What is he doing in the car?
Jerking it.
I don't like it. She's like, I'm a matador and I'm holding space.
I do like those tights though.
All right.
They're Balenciaga.
Yeah, I mean,
New
look,
season.
I like that giant coat thing. I'm just like,
I've just had enough. I want, why don't we have someone else do this stuff? It's time to pass the torch
like
and
who?
Truly go, I don't know.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd take anyone. I'm just like, you've done everything. Now you're just recycling things that you've done.
Bella Hadid.
Yeah. Bella Hadid, I'm edging towards a go away for her.
No.
Eventually. It's we'll see the cowboy era play out.
How long do you think that'll last? Well, she's always loved horses.
I kind of hope it lasts a long time.
You never know.
I really need to spend some time with a horse. I think maybe I'm going to try and do that when I'm in Oklahoma at Thanksgiving.
You should. You know how Taylor Swift is... I want Yolanda Hadid to do an Eras tour of just all her eras.
Yolanda?
Yeah. Muhammad.
Lime.
David Foster.
Someone should write a Yolanda Hadid musical because I think that would be...
Andrew Lloyd Webber should write Yolanda Hadid.
The musical. Mm-hmm. David Foster should honestly write Yolanda the musical. That would be incredible. No, and he would make good music.
Mm.
And then the Foster sisters could write it. That would do numbers.
It would. I mean,
free idea.
And they have like the biggest show on Netflix.
Yeah, so I'm giving a great free idea, and if they would love to collab, I'm also here to consult for a fee.
The Sisters Foster, are you listening?
Yolanda the musical, tell me that wouldn't just take Broadway by storm.
Believe me, her novel, her memoir. That's a weird photo of Gigi and Bella. I can't. Anyway, let's get to
the reason for this recording.
So we're doing Okay, I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to Sexy Unique Podcast.
Ocean Omelettes.
We're doing a broad recap of the last 3 reunions, and so we're fully caught up and done with this season, this 18th season. I liked these reunions, except the last one really dragged with Lexi and Shannon. I wanted them to shut the fuck up.
You know what I realized and was experiencing quite a bit of is like, oftentimes the sound of women squawking at each other and arguing, I find it to be soothing and life affirming, and I generally enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something about the level of squawk of this reunion that when I tried to watch them was initially, it would just put me to sleep. Like the squawks like put me to sleep and then really started to grate on me. And I was just not experiencing the level of joy that I usually experience when women fight.
My biggest takeaway of this was that Heather is a genius and was able to avoid really any kind of spotlight on her.
Yeah.
And Katie was faced, and I guess she's the newbie, but she really faced the firing squad with us. Katie, also, I was like, my world was a little rocked because I was like, have I been duped by Katie? Is she like a giant liar?
I hold space for Katie to be the liar of the century, and I think that that's like a powerful way
True.
and character to be in this universe. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the one that's known as just the wretched liar of the group, but I hold space for her to be that.
I hold space for Katie. I give her first season a really good grade. I think she
Yeah,
really,
I say keep going, sister.
Keep going, sister. And if you need to lie, like, lie.
Lie hard.
Lie hard. But she went pretty, that whole...
I was pretty embarrassed if I were Katie.
I was shook at that. Okay, we'll get to it. So
but I mean, we can just like go through.
Yeah, basically it's like Andy says it's the 100th year, the 100th season of the Real Housewives franchise, which I was like, regardless of how you feel about where this franchise has gone, I really think Housewives should be entered into the Smithsonian.
It's time. I think like
It's culturally relevant.
In Rome, they would build like arches.
Yeah.
Like when Christianity became the religion of the West, they built like a big arch for that. But I feel like the appropriate thing to do in this case specifically is build a stunning Roman arch outside of a mall in Orange County.
Kodo. Make Kodo a national landmark.
Mm-hmm. A heritage site.
To me, Vuki haunted the stage. I was missing her.
I crave Vuki.
Like, could have done without Lexus.
I like Lexi's chaos, even though I don't like her, but I think that she is kind of a necessary evil. Like, I don't think this season would have been as interesting without her and Johnny J.
Andy mentions Tamara's swollen face and then mentions that Tamara's about to start therapy, which I'm like, so we're only a few days out from
Tamara discovering that she's autistic.
So this is like now
this was pre-autism.
I'm living in a world where Tamara has like
Tamara is the face of autism.
That she's on the spectrum. This is like a world before that, and it's wild.
The trajectory of Tamara, a person who has never been in therapy in her life, going to a singular therapy appointment.
Like kind of like the like preface therapy session.
This is also like so classically, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, is to go from not one single second of therapy to being like, I'm autistic. Like after one session. Also,
so many shots of Shannon in this whole arc, 3-episode moment is just her staring. She stares like Parker Posey in Best in Show, and then by the end, there's one shot of her with ceiling eyes going like this.
Shannon,
I'm sorry. She's gotten some kind of work done because her face looks.
She's a bit in a place of puff.
Not even puff. It's like she's like giving, I don't know what is going on.
It's a bit swollen.
Who is this woman?
She's a who. She's entered who territory. And not even like Whoville, just like once you've gotten too many tweaks and everyone has to be like whomst.
Yeah.
Shannon deserves also like
Grace,
but I think Bravo needs to like pay her like a disability lump sum, because I do think that the stress of this has been devastating for her like immune system in some way. I'm just like medically intuiting that.
They have a shot of her and Tamara's fight at the Mexican restaurant, and I forgot that Tamara said, "Have I driven my car into a fucking house?" I was like, so
You're
mean.
a bitch.
So mean.
Also, like, what really bugs me about Tamara throughout this reunion, and like
she's playing holier than thou.
Well, not only that, but like she sits here fucking indicting Shannon all season, being like, you're a liar and a drunk. And like, then we'll tell a story about how she was so fucked up that she doesn't even remember what happened, and like woke up the next morning and not a single person even is like, don't you think that's a little weird? Like,
they're all afraid. And Shannon's like the easiest. Shannon is the easiest like wicker
She's
man.
an easy target.
She's a wicker man, and everyone can.
All it takes is like a spark,
and everyone can project their, all of their flaws onto her or like their vices, and like she can be the like. She's like a vessel now for everyone because Shannon's so like
she's a Christ-like figure.
She is Christ-like, but
she's a bit Sheena.
She is, and like everyone can kind of like be like, oh, you're like they can divert, and she's the easiest person to divert because she's literally like, ah, and then when Heather goes, when they're talking about the DUI, Heather goes, Terry was concerned about Shannon as a doctor because of her high blood. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Heather. Shut the fuck up. She was drunk as shit. Okay, she drove her car into a house. She tried to.
We all know Shannon is a big drinker.
Shannon was walking around.
She's a career drinker.
She was walking around a neighborhood at 3 a.m. with blood dripping down from her skull. Like, obviously, yes, we're concerned. And she goes, as a doctor, thank you for name dropping once again. My husband is a doctor. Fuck you. I'd say that to her face.
I think that when you go through a situation like Shannon's DUI night, like fright night, it adds to the lore in a spectacular way, and you're forever iconic.
But you're now forever a drunk.
But I would argue,
as a woman, for sure. A man can get away with this, but a woman,
in my mind, I think you can get away with it. Like, as long as you haven't killed anyone or hurt anyone or gravely injured like your dog or yourself, like, you're good. Like, this is the best case scenario of what can happen when you have like a very bad drunk night.
But case in point,
and then it's like you're an icon for that.
Billy Joel drove his car into a house. No one really talks about it. He didn't kill anyone, right?
Matthew
Broderick killed someone.
When you killed someone, the lore,
but Rebecca
it's like
Gayheart,
not good lore. She killed someone though.
Scarlet Letter. Now, whenever I think of Rebecca Gayheart in my head, one of the first things I think is she killed someone.
You really can't kill anyone. Killing people doesn't do good things for the lore, but
But Matthew
having
Broderick,
a little bit of silliness, drunk, clipping a building, walking your dog, hitting your boyfriend. I think everyone deserves to just hit their boyfriend once. Every woman.
Yeah.
That's where. So I think it's good. I think what Shannon did is ultimately good, and it gives you the opportunity to really take a step back, examine, take stock, and then make the changes you need to make.
Well, we can certainly
or just keep going.
anticipate Shannon will not make a single change.
Or just keep going.
Or just keep drinking that Belvedere vodka.
Yeah.
I just wrote Heather's fake ass. She has an answer for everything.
All she did all season is wear sparkly sweater sets.
She went to like a debate prep that like presidential candidates go to for like a week before and like pretend like they built a set for her.
She had an assistant with note cards being like,
what are the possible
talking about all the topics and like coaching her through. Or she just did it herself in her free time.
And then Tamara was babbling on about something and she goes, well, someone reached out to me about it. And then Shannon just goes, someone's always reaching out to you, Tamara. And that made me laugh. Someone is always reaching out to these women. Someone's
Tamara
always reaching out to a housewife.
I know. We're in a period now.
Tattletales everywhere.
Narcs. And just like randoms. It's true. The randoms on Instagram love nothing more than to reach out to a housewife.
Randoms on Instagram love nothing.
Randoms on Instagram, their bread and butter is reaching out to housewives and stirring the pot. Literally, reality Von Tease kind of has had a backlash effect where it's empowered more randoms to start clicking away and reaching out.
We are a Von Tease nation.
We're a nation of Von Tease. We're in the full Von Tease era where now it's being incorporated like in every franchise.
Well, now people want to be, are so like,
they want to be part of the drama.
And it's like parasocial with these shows and people like want to feel like they're part of the narrative so badly that they will become a source. Like Whitney being like, my source, I trust my source. It's like your source
is a
fucking
random
gay guy who lives in like you know,
Iowa.
Which is like nothing wrong with that, obviously, but like it's not like your source is like, you know, in the fucking FBI. My source. Anyway, Heather and Emily they talk about shitting. Heather goes, I shit before I came here.
I'm sure you did.
And then Shannon goes, I gotta shit right now. Fuck,
sure
I gotta shit. Andy's like, are you okay? Are you gonna have an emergency? She's like, oh, I can hold it. Oh, I gotta shit. I gotta squat down right now and let a big dump out. Woo! And Andy's like, are you good? Like, do you need...
Shannon
she goes, I got a lot of Spanx.
Shannon's making it...
She's cloned.
She's making it hard to get fucked in the future.
So she went on a date.
I know, but then she makes a leap forward and then 500 steps back. You've got a certain age, and I hate to have to say this, but as a woman, I feel compelled that like at a certain age, you either have to give up fucking or you have to act in a way
that you don't shit.
To make yourself, you have to just try and be a little fuckable, right?
I'm holding space for you saying that.
You either accept like, you know what I mean? You just like, you got to give yourself more credit.
She needs to gas herself up. She's an attractive woman.
She takes herself down by doing this. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to be like,
Laura, I know.
I'm not even justifying to you. I'm thinking out loud. And
gas yourself up. Be your best hype person.
Yeah, because you're sexy.
Shannon's a sexy, beautiful woman who has good clothes. Well, sometimes we think she has some money. Like
she has jugs.
She's got jugs. She's got she's
got a big old pair of DSL.
She's got great hair.
Good hair.
Like, own it.
Yeah.
And just fucking like you are a attractive woman. Like don't
go sad clown
Don't
mode.
go.
It's a bit like what Sutton does, but in a different way.
But Sutton, I think, weirdly is able to like stay kind of like cute about, you know what I mean? Like Shannon takes it to another level. Sutton's also like odd, but like her oddness is like weirdly like kind of like ladies who lunch. Like, I don't poop.
Yeah, Shannon needs also maybe like refine your, I don't know. I can't, it would be very hard to date. It gets just harder and harder to date, I think. Also.
Katie is she postponed her birthright trip to Korea to see her birth mother because her father-in-law died. And then Heather starts scowling as Katie speaks. And I went, don't you make that face. Don't you make that face. And then they talk about how the father-in-law died in San Diego where he lived. And then Gina goes, when you first reached out to me, you said you owned a house in San Diego and you didn't. And I was confused. And I was like, what the fuck? What? She goes,
I just love Gina's
when you
voice.
first reached out to me, you said you owned a home in San Diego and you didn't. And I was like really confused. Why did you say you owned a home in San Diego when you did? And then Katie, this gets into like Katie's web of lies. I like something is the book opens. Gina was fully on Katie's, like she had her number.
Now I am in a place where I crave Gina. Like
Gina
I want her to
incredible.
weigh in with her like Philadelphian voice.
Her Long Island voice.
Long Island? You said you owned a house.
You said you owned a house in San Diego, but you really didn't. I was like really confused. Like, why did you say you owned a home in San Diego and you didn't? Like, what's going on, Katie? And Katie's like, well, I did own a home and my child was living in San Diego, my other son who living with his niece, his aunt. And I was like, what? And then, but we owned that home and now we have a house in Orange County. I think they were trying to say like, you don't actually live in Orange County, you live in like San Diego. Which I was like, what? I know there's a difference, but in my head, I'm like, what's the difference?
Heather lives in L.A. Who cares?
Heather lives in Beverly Hills. We've gone past the point of like, you don't need to.
We have suspended disbelief. Yeah. We all know that y'all live in many different places.
But Gina is like out for Katie in this reunion, but in a very like Gina classic Gina.
I'm confused.
I'm really confused right now because you said you were like living in like Encinitas or something in like San Diego. Like, I don't understand. Like,
She's gone full Western.
She's gone real. No, but she's like,
You're about to be in Britney zone.
She's like,
goes,
you own a home in San Diego.
Understand. And then you live in their
you said you own a home in
shops.
San Diego, and I'm like, you didn't. I was like really confused, and I was like, why the fuck did you lie about that? And then Katie's like, I didn't lie. And then they go, so Katie, and he goes, you were involved in like a lawsuit or something? And then Katie's like, yes, my old business partner was sued for $5 million or sued me for $5 million, but we cleared it up. And I'm like, what?
Katie contains layers and multitudes and many secrets. And I feel like this is going to be great moving forward for her.
But then we get like the lie of the century, apparently. Katie, so her other son lives with his father in Marietta, Georgia, or like in Atlanta. And I guess Katie was involved. Katie sued a police, or Katie filed press charges against a man for basically like committing road rage against her and like kind of hate crime, sort of like, you know what I mean? And filed like a police report and said that a guy threatened her and like all this shit. And then, which I didn't know. I guess, I mean, I'm sure people know, like real heads who watch like know or went deep, and the sources on Instagram know, but I didn't know this. I was shocked.
I didn't know either.
But then Heather says this is all a lie, and that Katie was actually texting while driving, and the man who she said attacked her with road rage saw her texting with her kids in the car and got triggered because a family member of his died.
From a text accident?
Yeah. And then he kind of like rolled his window down, like shouted at her, like, hey, get off your phone. And then Katie apparently followed him home, like so rageful. This is what Heather says. And then got out of the car and was like threatening him, and then called the police. And then the police came and she said, this man is not letting me go. And then they like tackled him to the ground and brought him to the police station. And he spent the night in jail. And then Katie, like,
I fear Katie.
so I was
Katie's
like,
capable of anything. And I kind of knew that when her receipts that she trotted out was simply a text message of someone saying yes.
but this story, I was like, wait, so in Heather, according to Heather, are we to believe that Katie faked like a
road rage incident?
yeah, and then she was actually the aggressor? Like she went full Russell Crowe in that movie? Like,
I'm
what the fuck?
terrified.
Just dog day ass afternoon with Katie in Marriott following a man home with her kids in the car. I'm just like, and then Katie goes, I was homeless at this time. I was homeless. I didn't have a home. I was divorced, a single mother, and I'm like,
I love when
She pulled
when
the
anyone
homeless.
invokes homelessness,
When a wealthy
meaning
woman-
like you moved out of one place and maybe we're living in a hotel.
it's very Bethany.
It's incredible.
It's like when a wealthy woman's like, when a wealthy
you have-
housewife is like, I'm homeless. It's like, you are literally wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you say you lived in San Diego when you didn't actually live there? And I was like really confused. And I was like, you don't actually live in San Diego. So like, why are you like saying that? And like, I was really confused. No, I did actually live in San Diego. I live in La Jolla, but I also live in Orange County. Two things can be true at once. You can both live in Orange County and live in San Diego. I just think that's like really weird that you like said you'd live there, and like, I don't really know.
We might need Katie and Heather to stay on the franchise because we do need a fact checker.
But that Heather just casually being like, well, yes, Katie followed a man home. The idea of Katie following a guy home is killing me so much. And then,
I can see it.
and then turning it on being like, he's after me.
I can see it.
Listen,
After the kids thing, I'm like, this woman's capable of anything. Once you find out that like eventually and like by the third episode, they dig into like whose kids were talking shit, who was saying what. And you basically find out that Katie has lied and like coached her kids to say all these things and then tried to frame Emily's twins as like shit talkers and shit stirrers. I was like, this woman,
I love her.
what couldn't she do?
They cut back to Andy asked Katie about like the party she hosts where Tamara got blackout, and they cut back to it, and I hated when Eddie pulled her face, went like that. I went, ooh, I don't want to see that. That kind of
No.
aggressive, like, look at me.
I don't like that.
I don't like that one bit. I don't like it. Jen discusses Ryan's legal woes. And when the women are explaining, Emily is very calmly breaking down like the
Emily,
legal.
my queen.
She's like, I looked into this. I researched, mama. And the women start, especially Jen, start trying to like explain the law to Emily. And Emily's like, guys, I'm
a lawyer.
a brilliant lawyer who passed the California bar. Like, please do not try to explain how the law works.
Jen really makes me so sad and nervous. And I find myself, after I have to behold her holding space.
I'm holding space
even
for Jen.
after that, because she lingers on my mind. And I'm like, this woman will never learn. And she is going to have to go through even more hell before she even begins to make the changes that she needs to make. And I just feel like she will be homeless eventually. Like a true, not Katie homeless
Bethany.
or Bethany homeless, like homeless if she does not get her shit together.
You see like her going to like a psychic and then like they're like, what's my future? And then the psychic suddenly like the eyes roll in the back of the head and they go, pain.
Yes, because she is just like,
I see pain.
Not making smart decisions. There's a moment where Heather was like, you called me before the season started and broke down all your financial woes. And we had this long conversation and I told you a lot of things that you should be doing. And then you didn't do any of them.
She also is like, you were mad that I commented on how expensive your dress was. But she's like, I'm saying that like as a friend because you gave me this information and then you're not doing anything to like remedy that. So of course I'm going to be like, why did you buy a $4,000 dress?
Yeah. That's
right?
like normal. If someone did that to me and then I happened to be in a store and saw the dress, I'd be like, I too would be very curious. I'd take a peek. I'm not going to not look at the tag. If it's right there, I'm not going to go seek it out. Maybe I would actually Google it and see. But I'd be curious.
They start talking about like Ryan and how shady he is and like the Bahamas and all the trips. And then Gina goes, she goes, Jen, I get nervous for you. Like you shouldn't be on those planes. And I'm like, I agree with her.
I fully agree with Gina.
Why are you on a private, like, why are you constantly...
Why are you, out of all the people that you could be with, I don't think it's smart or prudent for a woman in your situation to be tied to a man with any shady anything about him.
When you're required to make, like, monthly trips to the Bahamas to, like, receive money, like, there's something up. I'm sorry. Is that slanderous?
She has strange karma around like money and
men
and finances and not being able to like, it's just sad to see.
That's me being like, that's like, imagine Gina like pre-Ghislaine, it being found out that she was an associate of Jeffrey Epstein, like Gina being like, you know, Ghislaine, like, I know you're like always going on that plane and I'm like really nervous for you, girl. Like, I don't want you to go on there anymore. And Ghislaine's like, oh, it's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
He's just a dear friend. Gina's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Really
about this.
I think that he's weird.
I think
girls.
he's like really kind of sketchy. And like, I don't like all those trips you're taking with him. Like on that plane, like you should be really careful.
Gina,
I thought she should have listened to me. Ghislaine should have listened to me.
Like Jen could get into real estate. You know what I mean? That's a very easy
Gina could help her.
Yeah, Gina could help her.
She doesn't want to work.
No. And she just, when you get things given to you, like an easy financial fix for your problems, you're never going to be motivated to actually address the core issues and get your shit together.
Well, we found out that Jen's dad was like, I think, well off. And
he helped her. And then it's like
her husband
she just
worked for him, her ex.
Yeah.
So I think she's just used to being like.
So hopefully she'll never. I mean,
I hold space for Jen always.
I root for her.
I started by not holding space.
And I do think that she's genuinely like a nice person.
Oh, I do too.
But, and I don't want her to have to learn the hard way.
No,
but
I don't want her to be homeless.
And my fear, and I've said this before, my fear for like all women is like falling into a state of like deep financial disarray in like your 60s. And by then it's like good fucking luck to you. It's hard.
The episode ends with Jen going to Emily, I've read that your in-laws fund your life. And Emily goes,
so what? As they should.
And then in the second episode, I just wrote, sometimes I zoom in and out of watching reunions.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just get like a soundbite. I'm like, this is the craziest fucking shit I've ever heard. Like, I zoomed out for a second, then came back, and they're talking about like a Dodger who's getting his money embezzled. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? These people are they're all so sketchy. Why is everyone on The Real Housewives like basically a criminal?
They're all
criminal.
Crazy secrets.
And then I'm like, are all rich people criminals?
No.
Well,
many have done criminal things.
But I'm just literally just like, I zoom out and I come in and you see Katie being like, well, my business partner owes $5 million, or like, you know, well, he was embezzling money from the Dodgers. I'm like, what?
I think just
you don't have to live this way.
More money is on the line and there's more opportunity to engage in criminal or sketchy behavior to get the money that you seek.
I just like, and I've put myself in bad situations before when I was like not sober, but like I've never, and like a lucid, like it's easy. You are able to avoid being like a criminal.
You are very able to avoid making the choice to to engage in criminal behavior.
Or at least just like associate with people that are like, you know what I mean? And
I would not feel comfortable being around someone who was like, even there were rumors about them being investigated by the FBI.
No, and like I get why Katie's husband was like hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Jen is defending Ryan, saying, because Ryan has taken to Instagram and this thing needs to stop. And I know like we make fun of like,
about gay Eddie.
Yeah, and like I know we like joke about
Ryan
Sean,
sucks too.
but
he's always doing this about like guys being gay or like dick sizes.
Well, it's very OC. Sorry.
Very also kind of gay of him.
It's very gay of him, but it's also, this is classic like Orange County, like all these guys are like homophobes. But that's so like the Eddie gay thing, like this is so old.
He's not
gay, and neither is Sean. Like these people like
Tamara and Eddie are two of the straightest people I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's lazy, and it's just so, it comes off as just like so deeply insecure, and it's like, and I'm being a hypocrite because I always say like Aunt Henji's husband is gay, but like, it's one thing when a gay man.
That's said with love and light.
But this just feels loaded with hatred and like self-hatred, and I think it just needs to stop.
Yeah.
Jen goes, well, post Katie's dinner, Tamara, I heard someone told me that you slept in your casita.
Did he sleep with you in your bed?
And Tamara's like, what are you talking about?
Tamara's like, I woke up the next day, I had no idea what happened. I was
they
drunk.
have a casita where I'm like, I want that.
I know their casita did look cozy. She goes, Sydney sleeps in the casita.
But I was like, Sophia, you mean?
Whoever.
Sydney's one that they don't talk to.
Don't. I'm afraid at 2 of Tamara's rage.
Family erased. What is that called? Like remember her like
family erasure?
Yeah.
Her song, her track.
No.
Sorry.
No, she like
You've invoked what if
Philly.
you just started talking like Gina all the time?
My Philly accent does come out sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's Gina adjacent.
Shannon at one point goes, she just says to someone, don't take credit for me taking responsibility for something. And then we get a flashback of Shannon in London going, get your face the fuck away from me.
Shannon was incredible in London. I love, she goes, and that's why I left early.
Get your fucking face away from me. Get him the fuck away from me.
Shannon in London hiding behind the bars of that one restaurant where she lurked in the shadows and went full, he had it come in Chicago style, will never not be a real banner moment of the season.
Jen says that Heather told her that Tamara is a historical friend. At the reunion last season, she was like bitching about, she was like, how can you be friends with a woman like Tamara?
She said, is she your actual girlfriend? Like, you think that she's like a girlfriend of yours? And Heather goes, she's a historical friend, which is like a very political way of being like, I fucking hate her, but I have to put up with her.
But Heather kind of denied it.
Heather, I was like, she goes, you saying, she goes, I don't talk like that. I was like, that's exactly how you talk.
You talk like that. Every episode.
Every single time you open your mouth, that's 100% how you sound and how you speak.
There's a whole part about Travis's big balls. I was like, gross.
Leave me out.
There's like an E-Bombs World video I remember where it was like the guy with the biggest balls in the world and he could like sit on it like a beanbag.
I don't like yearn for balls.
I like a pair of big balls.
You like a big pair of balls?
Well, not like outrageous, but I like balls
like
on my eyes. I like to get teabagged. Sorry. Someone had to say it.
You don't have to
I
apologize.
like to wear balls on my head like a hat.
I will engage. I'll engage with
My
balls.
fascinator is a pair of balls.
Balls on your eyes. I will engage with balls.
Yeah.
I'm not ball shy.
But she was was describing them. I was like, how big
are they?
How big are they, sis? I went,
should-
Gina, how big are these balls?
Gina, when you said Travis's balls were so big, I was confused.
Are they like a pair of Jersey tomatoes?
I think that Gina should start an OnlyFans with Travis's. Uh-oh.
I hate these spam credits.
I know. Gina and Trav should start an OnlyFans.
Where Gina goes, it's not actually, she just goes, oh my God, your balls are, she goes, oh my God, your
just videos, like 10-minute videos of her talking about how big Travis's balls are. It's a daily ball report.
And it's
on
all,
the
it's all
size.
off
You never
screen.
see anything. She goes, I measured Trav's balls today and they were
Travis's balls were
Travis's balls were 10 centimeters each. She goes, his balls are swollen today.
She would kill.
I think people would pay for that. I want to see Gina reach levels of great financial success. I'm ready for Gina to like upgrade her life into like a mansion.
She will.
I don't like the bunk beds for her anymore. Gray flooring.
I did love this shot of when they were going to London and there was bad turbulence on JetBlue Mint and Heather and Katie were holding hands over the partition. I was like, listen, turbulence unites all.
Death will bring people together.
And then Andy says that Gina was talking about Jen. And he goes, you called Jen a ding dong. And she goes, I did. I did. She's a bit of a ding dong.
And Jen goes, I am a ding dong. I was like, Jen is the epitome of grace.
She's Lady Di.
She is.
And then guess who arrives but old Lexi. Tamara goes in and tells her.
They also talk about Jen's dress, like ad nauseum, the $2,500 Dolce dress. And Katie's like, Heather, it's really mean girl behavior that you would like look up how much the dress costs. And Heather goes, it wasn't mean girl behavior. It really wasn't. And Gina goes, it's gossipy. It's more gossipy. It's gossipy.
It's gossipy.
And then everyone goes, it's gossipy. It's definitely gossipy. It's not mean girl. And
No,
then,
I don't really think it's mean girl shit. It's more like gossipy.
and everyone goes, gossipy. Yes. It's 100% gossipy. And I love like mean girl behavior is kind of you know how like bully or like being a bully is very like housewives trope, like accusing someone else of being a bully. Mean girl behavior is another one.
They take a lunch break and then this is where Lexi comes in and Tamara like basically goes in and is like, don't be weird about John. Like don't be she goes,
Good luck.
try not being too much of his voice.
She goes, I have to be his mouthpiece because he's not allowed to speak. He's silenced at every turn.
She goes, I'm giving him a voice. They ask about Tamara and Katie's daughters. Like, did their friendship follow up? And then they both go, no. And then Tamara goes, Sophia tried to reach out to Kylie and Kylie didn't reply. And Katie goes, yeah, that tracks.
She's really bad at that. I was like, what a bitch.
I know.
Sophia needs friends.
Sophia's cool,
But
though.
Sophia's an artist.
She's like,
She views the world a little differently.
she's literally like, hi.
She's been through hell. I think she's seen things.
Sophia?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a family erased.
You don't have
Girl erased.
Tamara as a mom
And that grandmother.
and not have shit to say. Yeah.
And that older brother of yours.
Oof.
They talk about the kid gate begins.
This is where I was like, Katie is truly dark-sided.
So
to try and pin it on my queen Emily's gorgeous twins.
So Kylie babysat the twins and
filled their head with lies and propaganda, anti-Heather propaganda. And then they asked Emily and Shane, they said, Mommy, Daddy, is Heather a mean person? And then according to Emily, Shane looked at her and said, we can never have her babysit again.
Okay, but this is all fair, but at the same time, like when they're referencing like Kylie's TikToks, I was like, grow up. This is a teenager. Like, she's a dumb kid. Her brain isn't fully formed. Like, leave her alone. Like, yeah.
But I will say, if my child was making TikToks about my job or whatever, and I knew that whatever she was going to say is going to get a lot of online attention and cause like problems in my job or social world, I also would be like,
I know.
You need to get the fuck off. You cannot post that shit online.
That is one thing, but it's like when there's like multiple adult women like using this as like an argument point, I'm like, this is a kid. Like she's 19.
I know, but for them being like, so we're all just like bitches, I was like, okay, she's a teenager, so I wouldn't take offense to that, but I would be like, why are you letting your child post this shit?
No, and it's very like Katie's obviously using her as like a.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Alexis comes out and she talks about her LGBTQ children, and then
Lexi goes, "Woo! I'm here. Lexi's here," with her updo.
She says, she's like, I always have thought like queer people should have equality. She goes, but now I have like rage and sadness for like what they go through. I was like, all right. And then at one point, Alexis shushes Shannon, and then Shannon goes, "Don't shush me, Heather." I guess she was, because Heather shushes. "Don't shush me, Heather." Or I was like, I
think she just is like brain farting. Like to have Shannon face off with Lexi is so cruel.
Yeah.
And especially like in this moment,
I know.
Post engagement, pre lawsuit, and to have Lexi out here just like rattling off. And also, I do think John Jansen and Lexi do things to fuck with Shannon.
No, the
lemons in the bowl, the picture with him in his Ferragamo shoes. I'm like, you know exactly what you're doing, and it would be far more admirable if you owned it rather than act like clueless about it.
No, I mean, by the end of this, the last episode, they're just talking about like it's really just Shannon versus Alexis.
They're abusing like a senior citizen.
Yeah, she's Pagliacci, and they're all like they're terrorizing her and doing like weird like deep level trolling on Instagram. Where I'm like, you guys are pathetic. They're kind of the Randy and Evie Quaid of Orange County. Alexis and John.
They're capable of anything. Alexis, like I could see them going on like a shooting spree.
Totally, and like moving to Canada. Alexis goes, "I've been on TV for 15 years. And then Shannon goes, "Oh, you're a TV star."
That was incredible. I also love Shannon going, "You got off the show and then I took your job and I'm still here." It was incredibly Sunset Boulevard.
It was. And then at one point, Alexis and Emily start fighting, and Alexis calls Emily a dummy. And Emily goes, "Don't ever call me dumb." She goes, "You're the dumbest fucking girl I've ever fucking met." And I was like, holy shit.
When Emily gets the rage, it really soothes me. Like when she they showed the clips of her being like, "Oh, fuck off" to Heather. I was just like, I'm high off of this.
But hearing her say to Alexis, "You're the dumbest fucking girl I've ever done," like I was like, she means that.
Yeah.
And Alexis goes, "I graduated with a degree, girlfriend."
I have a degree.
From where?
Dumbass university. Dum school.
From
Stupid Bitch U.
Stupid Bitch University.
From DCU, Dumb Cunt University.
I just heard I'm so over all this. I go, why is everyone yelling? And why is Shannon?
After a while, I'm like, you guys just have to shut up.
It gets to a point where Shannon starts referring to herself in third person, and I was like, this reunion needs to
Shannon
stop.
needs to go be put to bed. Like she needs to be tucked in.
Tamara and Shannon hug.
They have a Hillen moment, which I was happy for them.
But Vuki was upset.
Well, also, it's just a matter of time before Tamara turns again.
Yeah, and then Tamara, she goes, I miss this girl so much. She goes, I even brought some text messages I printed out from right after Shannon's DUI, where I was just how
Stay strong, sister.
I was like, ugh.
Tamara, like
After you had your DUI, I'm like, the fake crying. I'm like, you just want, like, you're just.
Tamara is. I don't want her to leave. Like,
No.
I enjoy her presence. I do think that she's not to be trusted.
No, she's trifling.
She is very trifling. But she brings a level of chouse to the table that we need in order to propel the season forward. I'm excited to see what she learns from therapy. I hope she gets another opinion about her autism and then is able to actually like do therapy.
It ends, they make amends, and then it flashes to 36 hours later, and there's like this Big Little Lies like group hug moment where they all assemble because after the reunion, Lexi, Heather, and Tamara and their men went out to dinner, and John got a little, I think, and he admitted that he heard the crash. So Shannon was sort of vindicated, which I'm glad they included this little bump.
And he admitted to, didn't he admit that Shannon hit him?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, sister.
But he did like he did hear her, like he wanted her to get in trouble.
Of course he did.
So there's a little like everyone's together, Tamara comes over, they all hug, and then it ends with some sisterhood.
What will be next? A wedding between John Jansen and Lexi?
Lexi getting married. Fuck my life. Fuck my goddamn life.
They're so
They're
rancid
disgusting.
to me.
They're horrible.
But they're fun to interact with, I will say.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And there's a certain sexiness to him, but I'm like, you're really
get a life.
It's why as a man are you suing a woman? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like very like just like trifling behavior.
It is. And I'm like, you're both folie à deux over this situation.
Grow a pair of Travis's big balls and like man up and don't fucking terrorize a woman.
Stop terrorizing your ex. You
Especially
both get
her.
off. You can't come unless you know that whatever you're doing is hurting Shannon.
Stop terrorizing Aunt Sassy.
I know.
And
She's
let
been
her-
through enough.
Let her heal.
Shannon really needs to heal. I want Shannon to go to like a spa
Yeah.
for 90 days and
90
get
days?
pampered. Yeah.
3 years. Seriously.
Shannon needs to like live in Switzerland on the off seasons and get like fully pampered.
That might be a little too close to the sarcopods. We don't want our girl anywhere
No,
near.
yeah,
So
yeah,
she should
yeah.
be in like, she should go
Italy.
to like Italia and like check into a hotel and not leave for 4 years.
Maybe Turkey.
Yeah.
Turkish baths. Get some hammam
Mm-hmm.
and some therapy. Tweak the meds. A little peptide, some hormones in the mix, and then
Come back
come
sober.
back sober. Discover the beauty of,
Her whole family should move. I mean, one of them lives in Paris. They should all just live in Europe.
yeah. I would love to see Euro Shannon.
Me too.
Also, I was like laughing when Tamara said her and Eddie's CBD business brings in more money. She was like, I was like, these people,
The lies, the lies.
they
the lies.
are truly the quintessential CBD business owners.
For sure.
There is no one that it aligns more who
What
would
if-
own a CBD business than Tamara and Eddie. And to add to the Eddie like is gay discourse, nothing is more straight than owning a CBD business.
Why do I feel like they're both going to end up moving to like Humboldt County and like become
They are.
growers? And
Not
Tamara's going to have
even.
like white dreads.
Not even.
They're going to like, yeah, they will. And they're going to like have like a growing farm. Anyway, I'm glad that this season's over.
Me too.
Thank you for being on this journey with us.
I know. The omelets did.
They serve.
They served. The eggs were warm, but it's time to move on.
I want a frittata next season.
I need a break from
Yeah.
these ladies, and I'm glad it's coming at this time. And
But we
I
did
wish
it, girl.
Shannon well. We did that.
Bitch, we did it.
We fucking did it.
Let's get our cult shout out.
Yeah, let's do the cult memes.
Congratulations, bitch.
You did that.
You did that.
Ash Kelly.
One of the dolls.
Teddy the Schnauzer and Tony and Mango's Cult.
Alex Delisle.
Makeup Fresh.
Obviously.
Emily Vaughn.
Gina Sapienza.
Sarah Elizabeth from Boston.
Lucy from London.
Brooke Johansson.
Lilia Farrell.
Gerd, Queen of Brooklyn.
Danielle from The Brim.
Malzatov Laws.
Mary.
Katie Solon.
Mike Earhart.
Matthew Thomas.
Owsley Robinson.
Cheeseburger Bay.
Kathy West.
Kit Moore.
Orlando.
Patron of the Farts.
Nick Sedaris.
Mr. Brandon.
Emily.
Kim Lucas.
Drew from Toronto.
Katie the Sup Lawyer.
RJ.
Modern Counseling, McLean, Virginia.
Jeffrey Pradama.
Guys, thank you so much. Come to our shows. There's still time to buy tickets at sexyuniquepodcast.com. We'll be in Chicago on December 2nd. We'll be in New York on December 4th. Get a ticket. Come out. We have written some gorgeous Christmas tunes.
Come see for yourself.
And
hear for yourself.
can't wait to celebrate the holidays.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Yay. Come on, baby.